Alright, so it's after Thanksgiving, and I had a strange Thanksgiving in that everyone I knew went somewhere else, and I got to stay behind in an empty house, which I haven't had in a long time, and I kind of enjoyed it. I didn't even eat because I wanted to fast, because I wanted to have my first long meditation with this sphere. Since going to the Sekhmet temple, it had completely changed in the sense that there's growth in the blank area now, what looked blank, and now it is just full of rainbows for the most part. I'm trying to show some good angles here by manipulating it while we're talking. As you can see, it's full of record keepers. It's an amazing crystal. And like I said, it is so full of rainbows now. Trying to get the right angle here. This might be better. So I had a nice long meditation with this crystal, and I learned quite a bit. An amazing amount, actually. Look at that rainbow that's in there now. My goodness. So I got a lot of information from this crystal on how to basically repair the grid and get things to work. And guess what? We're sort of all part of that game. Not raising an army. But as Joy calls all crystals, she calls them guardians. And I consider myself in some ways a guardian in what I try to do to help work on the planet and fix the planet. Sekhmet, of course, is a guardian of the planet, and have that in common. And like I said, this clear area here did not have all those rainbows, did not have all those structure in it. And it does now. And meditating with it, I got a lot of information. The information I got was that was not only that I learned from the crystal grid that we're all crystals, but we're going to start this off with you doing a test. If you've been following along and you have any crystals that you found the portal to, I want you to try this exercise. I want you to relax for a moment and lean back and kind of empty your head a little bit and take a deep breath. And if you're used to putting one of your favorite crystals or its portal on your third eye, I want you to, in your imagination, without the crystal in your hand, imagine putting its portal on your third eye. And basically what you're going to find out is you are connected to that crystal. And it's about, it's like how quantum works, and cohesive quantum theory and all of these things, basically pointing out everything is connected. When it's in a, when it's cohesively connected, you are in a much greater connection. Meditating with someone, they've proved that you can meditate with someone and then to be connected for that purpose, and then separate them and hook them both up to EEG and raise an evoke potential in one brain and see a response in the other brain at a distance inside a Faraday cage, which is pretty impressive stuff. So we are connected, and we can be connected in our brains, and we can be connected to crystals. But what I learned is we can be deeply connected to a crystal that way, but they are much more connected and much more powerful and much more capable in the quantum world, and much more connected. Meaning, look at all that rainbow. Basically meaning, what little connection we get with this crystal, like for me meditating with it, I can sit back and with my mind put this crystal in front of my third eye and have it activate and twitch just as if I put the crystal itself in front of it, or in front of any of my chakras, using that technique, amazingly enough, I can put this crystal ball in my imagination on its portal on all of my chakras at the same time. Which is a pretty interesting trip, by the way. That's amazing to me, that we're that connected, that the mind is strong enough to connect and make it as if it's there. Now, learning that and understanding that, I decided to, the next morning, have Joy test it with her, and had her sit down and think of her favorite crystal that she puts, of what she has done. She puts its portal on her third eye, and had her do it in her imagination, and sure enough, it worked. We are connected. The point being, the crystals in the earth next to each other have been connected for a much greater amount of time. They're also much better at storing, receiving, and transmitting information at that level than we are. Your phone would not be, or your computer would not be receiving this without its ability to receive, store, and transmit, as its processor is made of crystals, tightly packed and arranged specifically, and its ability to receive, store, and transmit. And so learning that, and learning that they're connected in a quantum way, I realized that so are we. And so we can connect to these. And these, here's the cool part, are all connected to each other. So if I'm meditating with a specific crystal, let's say this one, and I'm treating it as a conscious being, and asking for its kind guidance or assist, if I could be so kind as to have it share what I'm doing with all of those it's connected to, all of those it's cohesive with. So it's basically every crystal that was in the same location, for that matter. And all the crystals that have been removed and placed around the world from that location, and potentially sending to those, or the vicinity of those locations. And that's pretty impressive stuff. And the small proof is, well, it doesn't have to be there even to send it to your third eye, which is pretty impressive. So I'm still working on what that means, the implications of that, but learning that alone is some impressive information. And that all of our crystals are guardians that have the capacity to communicate with all of their other fellow guardians, because they're much more connected in that respect, in those respects, than we are. And that is some important information to work with. And the foundations of building a guardian army of people connected in process and intention and in meditation to help make that a reality. That they are connected with the right energy, higher vibration, and higher consciousness. And we're going to figure that out and make it happen. Namaste.